Kia ora tātou katoa e te whare. Mr Speaker, Māori Party policy is to support the right for workers to be treated with dignity and fairness. So when the Minister said, when introducing this bill, that government is committed to producing an employment relations system that is fair, pragmatic and helps to give New Zealanders more opportunities and flexibility, it sounded good. But the relentless increase in unemployment confirms that this 90-day trial that we've had since March last year, and which this bill aims to extend, is having none of the positive effects that government has been touting. And the statistics showing that 25% of those who got jobs under the scheme have since been fired tells us that we were right to oppose it when it first came to the House. And while government has been talking about how good this would be for young people, I note also that youth unemployment has jumped 12% since this policy was introduced as well. I also note where the evaluation of this trial employment period says that employees saw it as making them more vulnerable to reduced job security and unfair treatment from employers. This belief was confirmed for the few employees who had been dismissed without explanation and, in their view, unfairly. And the interesting point is that those comments weren't from the unions or from the opposition. They were from the government's own Department of Labour, condemning the actions of employers who were using this bill to simply fire people rather than pay them properly. Mr Speaker, our concern with the probationary period legislation is that it discourages the very thing that is needed: clear contracts for new employees and good employment, induction and training processes to minimise the risk of poor performance. We were told that the 90-day scheme would result in all kinds of employment opportunities for the 7,000 Māori and nearly 2,500 Pacifica youth currently unemployed. But there's precious little information to suggest that it has. No data on how many Māori and Pacifica youth were started under the scheme, how many were paid more than the minimum rate, how many were kept on after the 90-day trial period, and how many got a pay increase. And that information is important because we know that Māori and Pacific youth are struggling to get into the workforce in the first place, and we know too that they will often accept less than they are due by employers exploiting this legislation for their own benefit. We think that the government should be focusing on ways to get our rangatahi into work and keeping them there, rather than making it easier to sack them. And we will oppose any move that marginalises them, especially during the current unemployment crisis, and particularly given the leap in Māori youth unemployment over that time from 6% to 27%. This bill is not fair. It is not providing the opportunities for secure, sustainable employment, and we will not be supporting it. Kia ora tātou.